I'm so excited to share with you my new brush pack called Oh My Gouache, the Complete Gouache Studio, and it's created exclusively just for Procreate. This pack is for beginners and advanced artists alike. It's a complete toolkit that has everything you need to start your digital gouache painting journey or add an even more authentic look to your already amazing skills. You'll have your brushes, paint, canvases, sketches, and a tutorial all at your fingertips. There are 25 carefully curated gouache brushes made from actual gouache paint and textures, including brush stamps for an extra touch. And my 10 color palettes are in here as well to help you get set up and on your way super fast. Included are 2 incredible canvases that will transform your digital painting into a more real gouache look. And I won't leave you on your own, so I've included this step-by-step video tutorial that will help guide you through the process and hopefully inspire you with some new ideas. I've also added 5 sketches that you can use to practice with to improve your painting skills, and we'll be using one of them today. The textures and edges are wonderfully realistic, and they will bring a truly authentic look to your work. I've made a link for you in the description below where you can go and find more information on these brushes. As of the date of this video's launch, they are on sale for a special discount for a limited time, so you might want to go and check that out. In this video, I'll show you an example of how to use the brush pack. We'll be drawing a little cactus using the brushes, a canvas, a palette, and a guide, and I'll show you from start to finish how to get the max out of this gouache studio. I've shared the color palette for you for this tutorial, so you can just hit that link in the description below to download and install into Procreate, and we're all ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to start from the absolute beginning, and when you place an order, you'll receive an email, and you'll also have a link on the webpage following your order. So you just want to click on the link, and automatically it's going to go up here. You'll just say download. So it'll pop up here with this little arrow. I'm using Safari today. I also really recommend Chrome. If you're having any issues with Safari, try that. It'll usually solve all your problems. Then you can just click on this arrow, or you can go into your little files, tap on that, and you're gonna have, I have it downloading twice, the Oh My Gouache is going to be in here in the zip. So I'm just gonna tap on that zip file, and it is gonna unzip it into a folder. Tap on that, and you're gonna have all the things you need in here. So you're gonna have your canvases, your color palettes, your drawing guides, your brushes, your video tutorial, and a couple of other goodies. So why don't we start by opening our canvas. I'm gonna do that first, and so I'm just gonna tap on that, and I'm gonna just use number 1. So automatically, if you just tap on it, it's gonna automatically import it into Procreate, which is super easy. Oh, there we have our little zebra. So I'm just gonna tap on canvas 1, and it's already ready to go for us. So let's go get our color swatches. I'm just gonna go into my swatches. Down here, I'm gonna say palettes, and I'm just gonna hit that plus sign. And I'm going to say new from file. I'm in my gouache here, I think. Nope, not quite. So I'm going to browse to my downloads. I'm going to go to Oh My Gouache, find the palettes, and I'm going to import in the cactus right there. So that will bring up my cactus swatch. So I like to use classic mode, so I'm going to turn it to that, and then my cactus will end up here at the bottom. So that's great. Okay, so then I can go to the wrench, go to insert file. I'm automatically in my color palettes here, so I'm just gonna navigate back out to the drawing guides, and I'm gonna pick this canvas here. So there he is, all ready to go. I'm just gonna make him a little bit bigger. Wonderful. Okay, and I think we'll need some brushes, the most important part. So 2 ways you can do this. I think the easiest way probably actually is just to go to the file. You go back here, go into your brushes. It's a brush set, so it'll automatically import all of the brushes all at once. So you tap on that, that will bring them in. Automatically, they're going to be at the top here. Of course, I have 2 sets because I already made the one set here, but anyways. The other way you can do it, if you prefer to do it through the brush library, you can just hit that plus sign, say import, and then navigate and tap on them and import them that way, just in case. So for some reason, if that doesn't work, you can just go through the brush library and hit the plus sign and add them that way. All right, so now that we have our brushes, we can have a quick look. We have a sketching and detail brush. We have a watery brush, dried out, semi-dry round, all the sort of more diluted ones and scratchier, more textury ones. And then we have more of opaque and thicker, heavier paints. So like the paint is gonna look like, what color do we have? Let's just do a purple. So you can see how it actually looks like it's raised off the page, which is pretty cool. So that'll give you a little bit of a different look than, let's say, we have a diluted texture. So, you know, it's like that kind of a thing. Or you have, you know, dry edges. You can get that sort of a look depending on sort of mimicking how much water or what type of brushes you're using. And that's gonna just give you that nice dried look as well. Okay, so today we're gonna keep it more of a flat sort of style. So, or you never know, that's my intention, but things could always change. So let's go ahead and start with that. So actually, let me show you the canvas as well. I have it locked, but by all means, feel free to unlock it by swiping to the left and saying unlock, and you can go ahead and change any of these features here, just if you're wanting to adjust the depth or vibrancy of the paper, or just make it look grainier or more textured. So you can go ahead, and it's quite versatile where you can change that to your personal preference as well. I'm going to leave it as is for the moment, of course, because we don't have any paint on, so we really can't see much. So let's go and change that. Let's hit the plus sign to add new layer. Just going to drag it below. I'm going to turn this to multiply, my drawing layer here. Click on the M, slide the opacity down. I'm going to still have it so you can see it on the camera here. Okay, so then we're ready to go. So it's pretty straightforward, especially since we already have it all drawn and ready to go. It's kind of nice. Jump ahead a little bit. So I'm just going to be using a variation of greens. I'm just going to move this guy over here a little bit. Let's start with, let's say this one. And I'm going to go pick my brush and let's see. So I think I'm just going to start with my semi-transparent round. It's a great all-rounder. And I'm just going to start to fill in and just sort of make this look like the light is hitting it in different ways. So we get those sort of angles happening. I'm just going to hold my brush down and kind of loosely trace. Doesn't have to be exact, and just fill it in. And now, of course, so that if we hold on our brush the entire time, it's going to be a less streaky, I'll show you this without the canvas, less streaky type finish. If you're wanting to go in and have some more lines, like you know, probably a little bit more realistic, even though you are trying to get a smoother look, that will happen as well. So I can kind of do that if I want to have a little bit of lines. Then I'm just going to go grab a little bit of a lighter color, so I'll try this guy. And grab a darker one here. And just keep filling that in, making sure the lines touch. Maybe just a little bit lighter for the next one. And again, back to something a bit darker here. Let's try that guy. All right, looking good. On to our next one. Just gonna grab this color, start here, sort of a medium. It's gonna come a little bit in front. This lightest one here that we used right there. And let's say this one. Let's see. I think that's right. Okay, just trying to overlap my lines a little bit. And we'll do the darkest one here. Actually, I kind of like the other darker one there. Maybe. Let's just pick up the color from here. Actually, we can just use our color picker. Oh yeah, that's better. Couldn't figure out which one it was. Great. All right, so that's pretty straightforward for that part. I'm just gonna go and turn off our guide so we can see, making sure all my layers in. If I needed to push my lines around a little bit, I can use my smudge tool and go in and get the all the way down here between the stamps. And there is a blender, so I can blend those out if I wanted to have a smoother transition. Again, with this, you're probably wanting a little bit of a crisper line for the most part. Some of these areas, if I've missed, I'm just gonna fudge it just a little bit. So make sure we get in there. Also, I kind of probably should show you the blender, so if you are doing some blending where you're wanting just to blend two nice colors together, this really works beautifully just to give you a really nice, natural, soft blend. I mean, you can make it more aggressive if you want, depends on how your pressure and how you're pushing. Of course, for this, I don't really need it to be like that. We kind of want those very defined edges. So let's keep going on and we'll do this little pot here. So just thinking about what the easiest way to do this, the easiest way to paint around this, because I can do a fill color and then color the others over top, which but I'm trying to figure out what is the least amount of angles and things I gotta work with here. So I'm thinking if I do a blue fill and then draw the white, paint the white over top and the yellow, that would probably be the simplest. So let's try that with this blue here. And I'm gonna go and just grab, the thick paint flat. Just gonna fill this in here. So just, not gonna worry too much about being absolutely perfect. I can always just like erase my edges if I don't quite get them perfect here. See, I'm gonna have some problems at that end there. Depends what kind of edge you want to leave. I kind of want it to look like it's painted, of course. That's sort of the point. All right. Good. Okay, so there's one layer, so I'm going to add a new layer on top and just make it this sort of lemony yellow color. I'll grab the opaque round just to see where we're at here. I'm at about, let's say about 10-11%. And they are pressure sensitive, so it's nice you can change your sizes just a little bit when you're trying to do more detail or not. And just, oops, get in here and just color all these little triangles in. Just getting them nice and solid. This painting technique is pretty straightforward, a little bit more geared for beginners, of course, that flat style. I mean, sometimes flat style could seem simple, but ends up not being for some weird reason. Just trying to get it to make it look proper and actually sort of something that's quite, interesting to look at. Can always be a little bit challenging when it doesn't have as much detail or shading or, those sorts of things. So this is a fairly simple style, very flat, more minimalistic, a little bit less on, well, there's going to be some detail and some shading, I suppose, but I don't know, sometimes simple is really eye-catching and it's fun to do. Now that we have that done, I'm going to create a new layer and just grab the white and fill in all these little bits here. So maybe we'll just do a little fast forwarding again. Oh my goodness. Why I choose to do so much detail, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyways, that took a minute. Hope you stuck with me. But now we have that, so I can go and turn off this guide layer and just see what we have going here. Okay, so it's looking like a pattern, like it's hand painted. That's wonderful. So I'm just gonna turn this back on. And while we have the white, I'm actually just going to rim this. Well, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Make the background color let's just have it a gray for a second so we can see the white. And I'm just gonna line the top of this. Go through there. Well, we can see it. Wonderful, okay. I'm just gonna turn that back. I like it white. So let's go do the terracotta color part. And so I'm just gonna grab this color here and just create a new layer and make that go below the green layer, so at the very bottom layer. And I'm gonna stick with the opaque round. That'll be good for just filling this in here, keeping it nice and thick and opaque. Fill that in. Go up here, these little bits here. It's like the sort of inside of the pot. Grab that. Okay, wonderful. Just gonna go to my white layer and just erase this little edge. It kind of came over too much. Although I kind of like a little bit because it is a hand painted pot, so it's okay to have a few rough areas like that. Right, okay. So next I'm gonna go and back to my terracotta layer and hit the plus sign and make a clipping mask. So just tap that, hit clipping mask. And let's just do a darker color here. Let's see if that will be enough. I'm gonna go grab my semi-flat or semi-dry flat. Yeah, I think actually I'm gonna make this just a touch darker. And I'm just gonna sort of have a sketchy hand. Sort of rough it up a little bit. This terracotta is kind of rough. So I think that'll give us a nice kind of look. Maybe bring in that orange a little bit. Oops, I'm trying to show you here. I think that's kind of nice. Back to that dark brown. And just give it more of a shadow in here. And that's better. Okay, let's turn off our guide layer again. Lovely, looking good. Okay, now time for a little bit of detail with all this little on the cactus. So back to the white layer and just grab the white again. I'm gonna go to my sketch and detail brush and we're gonna just do these little little spikies. So you're just gonna kind of draw a little star-like. Just all of them, just quick flicks, having them slightly curved. And I am going to just grab that dark green again. So for the ones that we can't really see, I'm just going to do some of the dark green on the edges here. Back to my white, so I might just, depending on our background, what color we put, just a few little white strokes there. Oh, I think I missed one. Okay, let's just erase that. Okay, I'm just going to turn this off. I don't think we really need it anymore. Looking good. I'm just going to actually collect all these layers and put them into a group. And I'm just going to use my arrow just to slide this up just a touch. I just want a little bit more room at the bottom so we can do a little shadow. So I come back here again, back to my bottom layer or anywhere. I'm just going to hit grab a new layer and just put it to the very bottom. Grab this orangey color. Let's do the semi-dry round. And just sort of, that's going to be too warm. I need this dark brown again. Just sort of sketch that in there. More concentrated around the base. You fan that out a little bit, just really lightly. Something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the white layer, just add a clipping mask, grab sort of a navy blue a little bit, still with our sketching. Nope, don't like that. I'm going to go to the dry edges, brush. You know, this is probably a little bit too dark. Let's just try that actual blue on the white layer, yes. And just give it a little dusting just to have that little bit of shadow there. Just a little bit of that shadow there. I'm going to do the same to the blue. Hit that clipping mask, bringing that more navy, same thing. Just adding a little bit of shadow there. Just really lightly, I just want it to look like paint. I can change the opacity a little bit too. Looks like we've painted that in. Wonderful. Okay, so that's it for the cactus. I think I want to show you like a few things you could do, of course, just to show you the brushes a little bit. Oh, I guess I should show you with or without the canvas. So you can see it still looks like paint, but with the canvas, of course, it gives it that texture, which is really nice. You can go ahead and add some another layer and add some, I can show you some other details and stuff. So I really like these dry brushes if you want to do some, you know, really add some texture to it. If you wanted to add some highlights or something else a little different to give it a different sort of painterly look. You can do that. You can also, like I said, go in and change this whole thing into a very much more blended out look where you can go ahead, oops, you should probably use it as a blender. Use the blender and really like, you know, smooth this out, creating a, you know, a less graphic look maybe. The cactus might not be the best example of this, but I use the blender a lot in a lot of the other examples, especially with the people and the smooth look, you know, so the gradation of all the colors. Actually, I'll just get up an example. So here's another example of an apple where I've really smoothed things out. You can really see, but it didn't start off like that. It started like this. So I'll show you the example. You go in here, you have all your colors together, just a bunch of, you can see how it would create that rounded look. You can keep going with that more blobby look, of course, or you can bring in your blender and just blend these all together, which will create a really much more interesting look. Again, it's just a matter of style and what you're trying to go for. So it's just really actually simple of laying down a bunch of paint and then bring it all together. So that can be really effective. And you just keep layering the paint, layering the colors, blending them in. And then you'll get, I'm just really dabbing, to be honest, just dabbing and doing little sort of circle movements to get that effect. So that's what I did there to create, ultimately, let's just turn a few things off. Ultimately it creates, oh, I guess I should. So you get from this step to about here where it gets even more blended, and then eventually to here, which is even more so. And that's all nice and smooth and gives you that really neat sort of effect which gouache can achieve. So there's that example, and I'll show you another one. And here's the orange. You can see that, let's see if I have the backwards. Here's the orange, so you can see this is much more of a textured style. You can have it really textured-y. You can just keep layering these paints. This was done with that dry brush, a lot of it. And just keep layering it, keep going, keep just bobbing around and bringing in all these brush strokes, which make it look really cool. So that's the other sort of look you can do. Or of course, another example of much more illustrative flat style would be this guy. This one's included in your drawing guides. So again, it's just keeping those really thick, nice, opaque paints, and that creates a much different look. So I hope you had a good overview of how these brushes work and how they would bring value to your artwork and increase your digital painting skills and make your paintings look even better. And hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I do. So thank you so much for taking the time to paint with me today. I really do appreciate all your love and support. It really means the world to me. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell so you can be notified of new tutorials just like this one in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.